heart that hurts. I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life mending broken people.
Hello and welcome to 3ABN Today Cooking. The word for today is yummy. I'm Yvonne Shelton, and I am so excited to have our guest chef with us, Lesie Caza.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here, Yvonne.
Oh, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
So, Lesie, let's find out a little bit about you. How did you get into vegan cooking?
Well, I've always been interested in cooking. As a matter of fact, as a child, I had a little bread baking business. I'd put the bread in my wagon and go around the neighborhood and sell bread.
Oh.
But I didn't know about healthy cooking until I became a Seventh-day Adventist. The training that I got in culinary arts school was butter and sugar and all the regular things just that restaurants want to serve, not necessarily for health. So when I became a Seventh-day Adventist, the pastor asked me a little bit about myself. I told him about my training, and he said, great, you can do our vegetarian cooking schools. I knew nothing. So I started a great research, trying recipes that people would bring to potluck and making them my own, and I began to become more interested in nutrition as well as cooking. So I enjoy reading, I enjoy experimenting in the kitchen. And it's a nice way to meet people in the community. Right now, vegetarianism and veganism is hot.
Yes.
So it's a wonderful way to reach out in the community.
Yeah, it's such a great way to evangelize because you can get people to come in and learn new dishes and teach them about their health.
Yes.
And then, of course, teach them about Jesus.
That's absolutely right.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. And look at how God used your culinary arts school training.
Mm-hmm.
You could use some of it and discard some of it. And now you're doing this, which is phenomenal. Tell us about the ministry that you have now.
Right now we're doing a ministry out of our church called Simply Vegan and Wellness in Memphis. That's a monthly class. And then we wanted to be able to reach the community better, so we started doing classes also in public libraries. So we have 2 public libraries that we do a 1-hour program in once a month, and then we do about a 2-hour program in our church, and we invite the people from the library classes to come to get additional training in the church. And it's a very nice way. They're to the point now where they own our church kitchen. They love being there, and we've become a family within the family.
Nice.
It's very nice.
I like what you did too. You start in a neutral place and let them get comfortable with you, and then bring them to the church kitchen.
Yes.
I think that's very wise. That's a very wise move. How many people do you normally have in your classes?
We're normally about 20. So it's a very workable size.
Yes.
We do a health presentation, we do some cooking demonstrations, and we serve a full dinner. So it's a nice evening out as they get to know each other and work.
Oh,
yes.
that is so good. I love to see innovative ways to reach people.
Answer your prayer.
Yes, with the message of Jesus. So that's great. Well, let's try these yummy recipes. Let's look at what we're going to make today. We're going to make French toast casserole and a maple nut soft serve.
Yes.
Baked breakfast grains and quinoa breakfast bowl. And, garbanzo oat waffles. We're going to have some serious breakfast food here. Apricot sauce and a glorified applesauce topping. Yummy. Okay, let's get started.
Ready to go?
Yeah, let's look at the ingredients for the first recipe.
Okay.
So for French toast casserole, it's 10 cups of bread cubes, 2½ cups of water, 1/2 cup of dates or 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, whole wheat is best, 2 small bananas, 1/3 cup of orange juice, frozen concentrate, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of walnuts chopped, 2 cups of crushed pineapple chilled, and 2 tablespoons of orange juice frozen concentrate.
Very good. Okay, well, we're going to start with our casserole dish.
Okay.
Yvonne, if you could just give it a quick spray.
Sure.
And we will get this ready.
Okay.
We've got our bread cubes here. A lot of times children don't like whole grain breads because they're too coarse for them. But in this particular recipe, you can get a really good hearty bread if you want it, because we're going to put a liquid topping over it and bake it so it'll soften it up very nice. So it's a great way to sneak those whole grain fibers into the breakfast without the children complaining about the texture.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do kind of quasi-sneaky things to get healthy ingredients into kids. So this is great.
Absolutely.
So,
okay.
and these are just broken into pieces?
Yes, just cut up whole wheat bread.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to hold the bowl, and I'll slide
Sure.
it in here with my gloves.
Sure.
Okay.
And I did wash my hands.
All right. So we have 10 cups of that here, and you can still use the ends of the bread. Like I said, it's going to get soft once we put the sauce on top of this for baking.
All right. I guess I should set this over here. Excuse me.
Now, one of the reasons why I came up with this recipe is because I had 3 children, and so that's a lot of French toast in the morning, which means Mama keeps jumping up and down flipping French toast, and the kids are all done before I get to eat.
Right.
And I want to eat as a family.
Right, right. And then it's cold. The first batch is kind of cold. By the time you make this, I'm with you.
That's it.
I got it.
So he said, you know what? Why don't we just put it in casserole dish? We can all sit down and eat together. So that's the method behind this one.
Love it.
Okay, so we have our bread cubes in there, and we're going to go ahead and put everything in our blender. Very simple recipe.
Okay.
Now,
and you know what, as you were saying, go ahead, you can, what you were saying about keeping it simple, I think that's really important, because if it looks too complicated, people are going to be like, oh, I can't do that. I just can't do that.
That is so true. Well, this is blend and bake.
Oh,
so
I
it's
love
real
it.
simple.
Love it.
Now I'm using very ripe bananas.
Okay.
Because they're sweet. A lot of times people will save these for making banana bread. But you can go ahead and use those wonderful speckled bananas in this dish as well to get a little added sweetness.
You know what else is, when they're kind of getting a little bit more ripe, you can also freeze them.
Yes.
I peel them, freeze them for smoothies, and then you can just drop them in for a smoothie.
Our next recipe.
Oh!
We're going to be doing it. There we go.
Okay.
You're one ahead of us.
All
That's
right.
fantastic.
Okay.
And then we're going to put in some dates. Now, these happen to be medjool dates.
They're not pitted.
They're not pitted, so if you buy medjool dates, they're probably not going to be pitted. You want to make sure you just pull those pits out. Very simple to do. They just slide right out, and if you forget one, you can fish it out of the blender.
Now, what are some of the advantages of medjool dates over just regular dates?
These are a little larger. They're a little softer. So the soft is really nice if your blender is not really powerful.
Okay.
So if you have a blender that is not really powerful and you don't have medjool dates, they could take the dates and just soak them in the water for just a little while and soften them up before they put them into the blender. And that will help to ease the strain on the blender. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and take these off while we finish up.
Right.
All right. Then we have some whole wheat flour, and that just helps to thicken the sauce up once it heats. And some orange juice concentrate. That adds a little bit of sweetness as well as flavor. And a little bit of salt here to just enhance the flavor that we have there.
Salt enhances the flavor.
It really does.
Right?
It really does. Just a little bit.
Yeah, the salt of the earth.
That's right. That is right. Okay,
Okay.
so put this cover on here.
This Vitamix is really great because it's a very intense kind of blender.
It is. So we're going to start slow so it doesn't take off like a bomb.
Okay.
And that's really about all it needs.
Really?
Yes, that'll be fine. And so then, would you like to pour it on?
Sure.
Okay.
Just tell me what
You're going to just evenly back and forth
Okay.
all over the French toast. And this will just moisten that bread up, and as it bakes in the oven, it'll just be soft and warm and deliciously sweet. And we're going to make a little topping to put on this as well.
Nice. Yay.
Yes, and then everybody will eat together.
What a great idea. I had never thought of a French toast casserole.
That's right. Why not?
This is great.
I'm just going to spread this.
Where do I set this?
That'll work.
Okay.
I'm just going to spread it just a little bit. We'll tuck those down. Maybe that didn't get quite so coated. We'll tuck them down in there so the kids don't complain about crispy.
Right.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Great.
And then we're just going to sprinkle some walnuts on the top of this.
Love it.
A little
And
omega-3.
walnuts are great for omega-3 and brain food.
Absolutely.
So that's really great.
And they taste so wonderful.
It does.
Yes.
I love walnuts and just fruit, and oh, it's just so good.
It is. So that's it. And then
Okay.
this will go in the oven.
Okay.
We have a finished one over here. If you want to, we can pull that out and just show them what it will look like when it's done.
Sure.
And we'll have you taste it after we do the smoothie.
Okay.
So it bakes up with the walnuts in that, and then we have a topping for that.
Oh,
now,
great.
we can put the smoothie on it that we're going to make on the maple nut soft serve.
Yes.
Or we could put on, if you could hand me the pineapple and the orange juice concentrate,
Sure.
a simple topping for this, if you're in a hurry, would just be to take some crushed pineapple, add a little bit of orange juice concentrate into that, stir that up, and then put it on the individual pieces when you serve it, and it's very, very nice on there. Pineapple is naturally sweet, and the orange juice just enhances that pineapple flavor.
So this is an unsweetened. It's just in its own juice.
That's
maybe.
right, natural
Yes.
sweetness. So when you cut your piece, you could, at the breakfast table, just go ahead and put a little bit of that on, and it's
so
delicious.
This is warm, and then that's just like room temperature.
And if you like it cold, you could make it the night before.
Oh,
So
great.
that works.
Great, great,
That
great.
works very good.
Okay.
Right. Now, would you want to try it like this?
Sure.
Okay, we have a plate right there for you.
Oh, gotta do it quickly.
Okay. We'll just give you a little piece here. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll put a little sauce on there for
Just
you.
a little bit.
All right.
Oh,
Here, we'll get that on the side
thank
for you.
you. Thank you, Lord, for this food.
Yes. Wonderful whole grains. So you have whole grains, fruits, and nuts. You're going to have a complete meal in the one dish. Your children can leave ready for school, ready with brain power for their day.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to make this for Danny.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next recipe is maple nut soft serve. The ingredients are 1/2 cup of water, more if needed, 1/4 cup of dates, 1/8 teaspoon of maple flavoring, 2 bananas frozen, and 1 tablespoon of chopped nuts, and that's optional. So let's see how to make this.
Okay.
Now, what's the soft serve thing? What's that?
Well,
Like a custard?
Is it like an ice cream?
Okay.
A lot of times people will get a soft serve, it'll be in a cone, it'll be kind of swirlied up like that.
Yes.
Well, we found that we really liked smoothies, but it's not quite as satisfying to drink a meal as to eat it with a spoon.
Right.
So we decided that we would go from smoothies to just making them thicker,
Oh.
less fluid than the smoothie does, and then you end up with a very nice thick soft serve.
Nice.
Instead.
I love that.
Okay, so again, we're back to our blender.
Okay.
If someone's blender is not strong, they may just want to let the bananas defrost just for maybe 5 minutes or so, just to soften them up a little bit. But we've got some bananas that were nice and speckled, and we let them freeze after we peeled them, just in Ziploc bags. And if someone is concerned about their blender, they could even slice up the bananas and put them on a cookie sheet to freeze them so that the pieces would be even smaller. So you just
that's a
have to
great
know
idea.
your kitchen tools.
Right, right. That's
Okay.
a great idea.
And the bananas in this are very, very nice because it gives it a creaminess. If you have a lot of fruits in here, like frozen strawberries or peaches, the more high water content fruits, it comes out icier. The bananas give it a creaminess.
Nice.
That kind of is reminiscent of full-fat ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got our dates again. We've taken the pits out of those, and we're just going to put a little dash of maple flavoring. It's pretty strong stuff, or you could use the maple syrup if you like, and then some water. And just like I said, a little bit of water or you could put juice, or you could use almond milk or soy milk or whatever milk you might like. So these are very flexible recipes. And to make any kind of soft serve, you could maybe add some frozen strawberries to that, or blueberries or blackberries.
Love it.
But I'm going to say that for us, the base always has to be bananas because we want that creamy ice cream feeling.
Yes.
That's right, that's right. Now we're going to jog this a little bit. Okay.
So you kind of pulse it?
We're going to pulse it a little bit. We'll just work it just a little bit here. See if we can get it down lower. There we go.
So is the idea to have it chunky or smooth?
We want it smooth. We want it smooth, but there we go. We'll get it. You can see it's getting creamy there. If we added more fluid, it would blend up very quickly without having to adjust it, but then you wouldn't have ice cream.
Right.
So we want the soft serve consistency, which means we're going to work it for just a little bit.
Right.
And if somebody has a powerful blender like this one, you could actually double this recipe.
Ah.
So it's a little bit harder for a Vitamix to make the smaller amounts, simply because this is a very powerful blender. Yeah. There we go. I think one more time and we're going to be good. Okay, let's see, get this nice and creamy for you. There we go. Okay.
Nice.
And you can actually see it has some body in there.
Yes.
We still see the swirls.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to taste it.
Okay. Let me put it, I'll put it in this bowl first.
Okay, and I'll just take a little.
Okay.
I'm just tasting just a little bit.
Okay, you can see that's got body.
Yes,
it's going to stand up. And if you like your dates smoother in there, then you just go ahead and blend it longer or soak the dates if you want it smoother. And of course, if you really want to make it special, you make it maple nut, right?
Yes. Oh, I should have gotten that before. This is, this is so good. You know what? It's very creamy, and it tastes like ice cream.
Yes. It's all
Without
about the
any
bananas,
dairy.
Without any dairy. And,
So good.
and if you don't add the walnuts on there, without any fat. So it's a perfect for those who might have a lactose intolerance or just would prefer not to eat dairy products.
That's good. I like what you did with the banana because it does give it that creamy consistency.
Low calorie.
And the flavor.
Yes, and the flavor. And low calorie.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at our next recipe. It's going to be baked breakfast grains. And the ingredients are 1/2 cup of steel-cut oats, 2/3 cups of millet, rinsed and drained, 4 cups of non-dairy milk, 3 to 4 tablespoons of maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/3 cup of raisins, 1/3 cup of another dried fruit, and 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Okay, let's start this.
Okay.
Do I spray?
We're going to spray.
Okay.
We want to make sure our casserole does not stick.
Okay.
So just give it a quick little spray there. Beautiful.
Okay. Now, what I love about this is this looks like it's a one-dish meal.
It is.
How easy is that?
And you can make it ahead at night and just rewarm it in the microwave if you want. So it should be fast and easy. And it is one meal.
Oh,
one
I
dish
love
meal.
that. See, that's great. Because in the morning, a lot of times you don't have time to do a lot. So if it's pre-prepared and you can just heat it up for the kids or your husband or your spouse if you're a man, for your wife,
Right.
This works out great.
Absolutely. And they find that breakfast skippers would tend to eat something mid-morning. Well, if you're eating mid-morning, you're probably not going to get whole grains and fruit. It's going to be the donut, an unhealthy beverage, something along those lines.
Yes.
So eating a good breakfast is foundational to starting your day off to a good start.
Breaking the fast.
Break that fast. Absolutely. Well, let's
Okay.
get our ingredients in here.
Okay, good.
All right. So this is steel-cut oats. And basically it's the whole oat groat, and they've cut it in half or thirds. So it's very close to a whole grain. It's not missing any of the fiber or anything like that.
Great.
We'll just sprinkle this in the bottom. Give it nice and even there.
Because fiber is so important. Like if you don't get enough fiber in the diet, fiber helps the body to metabolize sugar.
Yes.
Fiber helps the bowels to move. Fiber is so important. And I really think it's important for diabetics to get more fiber in their diet as well. So this is great. Fiber is important.
Fiber is so important. And yes, in diabetics and for heart disease,
Yes.
they found that the fiber also helps with that. So
Yes.
yes, we want to just be healthy.
Yes.
It's amazing how when we have a healthy lifestyle, it takes care of so many problems.
Yes.
Not just, it's a one size fits all
That's,
almost.
it's a blanket.
Yes.
Right? It's
When
a
you get
blanket.
healthy, you're healthy.
That's right.
it.
And it's so much easier to prevent illness than to reverse it. So why not eat better so that you can prevent? So you can give your body what it needs. God created us in such a way that the body heals itself if
That's
we give
right.
it what it needs. So
Absolutely.
we're giving it what it needs.
That's our goal.
That's right. That's right. Now what's that?
This is millet,
Okay.
also known as birdseed.
Isn't that amazing? I never knew that millet was birdseed.
Well, we're eating it without the hull. If you ever see, you know, a little pet parakeet, they'll put that millet in their mouth and then they'll chew on a little bit, they're removing the hull. So we get it without the hull,
Okay, unhulled millet.
and they sell it that way. You don't even have to ask on hull.
Oh,
When you
okay.
buy millet in a health food store or online or whatever, it will be unhulled and ready to eat.
Nice.
Now it tends to be a little bit powdery, and I don't know exactly why that is, so I always rinse it in a sieve first. So just run it under the water and clean it up a little bit. This has been rinsed already, so we will go ahead and also add this into the casserole. So this is a fully whole grain, high fiber
Yes.
cereal.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Now we will add our other yummy ingredients. So we've got some pumpkin seeds for some crunch. We have a small amount of maple syrup just for that little extra touch of sweetness.
That little sweetness,
That
yes.
little bit and that wonderful maple flavor.
Pure maple syrup,
That's
right?
what this
Not
is.
the
That's
kind
right.
with all that
That's
other
right.
stuff in it.
That's what this is.
Love it.
And then we have some wonderful raisins here. I'm going to try to get those spread evenly. And raisins are a nice source of iron as well as sweetness. And what child doesn't like raisins?
Yes.
So those are easy to get
And a lot of
down.
adults too.
That's true. Yes, yes, yes. And then this is dried diced pineapple, but we could use almost any dried fruit in this. I like to do the raisins, but if someone mixed two different kinds of dried fruits, that would be just fine.
Yeah.
So you might want to put dried cranberries or something like that. But we just chopped up some pineapple here.
And those are pumpkin seeds, you said?
We have pumpkin seeds.
Those are so important for men for the prostate gland.
Is it the zinc?
It's the zinc.
Zinc. Yes.
And a lot of times we're not getting enough zinc. Like if you have a cold, you need more zinc. Zinc stops the replication of the virus. So you're adding things in here that, again, are preventive and curative. So that's really a blessing.
Got a vitamin pill in the bowl.
Yeah, there you
Yes,
go. There
we
you go, for sure.
All right, and now we have some non-dairy milk here. And I'm going to go ahead and mix the vanilla right in the milk so it spreads evenly.
Okay.
There we go. Would you like to pour that on?
Sure.
Okay.
Again, evenly throughout.
Yes,
Yay.
it's going to spread. And you know, today in this age, finding non-dairy milks is so easy. Every grocery store carries them. Maybe 20 years ago.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Wow.
It will soak it right up as it bakes in the
Really?
oven.
Oh, okay.
Yes. and
That
this is-
millet absorbs, huh?
Oh, it does. And the steel cut oats as well. All right, and then we're going to and this is an optional ingredient. This is Ceylon cinnamon.
Tell us the difference between that kind of cinnamon and just the regular
The
cinnamon.
regular cinnamon that people would buy in the grocery store is high in coumarin, not coumadin,
Right.
coumarin, which for some people is damaging to the liver. The European nations had some of them have put a limit on how much coumarin can be used in food. So bakeries had to cut back on the amount of cinnamon they were using and things like that because of the damage to the liver. Ceylon cinnamon is a totally different product, comes from a different plant. It does not have such an intense bite to it. It's milder, and it has almost no coumarin in it. So it's a different product. If someone's concerned about cinnamon, this would be the way to go. But again, you could leave it right out of the recipe, and the recipe's still very yummy.
Ah,
Okay?
good.
So I'm just going to sprinkle this just a little bit on the top.
Nice.
And then this will go in the oven. And like I said, it could be refrigerated overnight, microwaved in the morning.
How long do you leave it in the oven?
It cooks for 1 hour.
1 hour. Okay.
And the milk, we had the milk a little bit warmed, so if you wanted to warm it in a pot or in the microwave a little bit, just to give it that jump start in the oven and make sure everything is good and cooked after that hour. We want to long, slow cook our grains.
Nice. Nice.
Very delicious.
All right. Well, we have a copy
We
of this.
do. We have one that
A
is,
display version.
okay.
Oh, look at that.
And then what people could do after they take it out of the oven, just scoop it out, and if they like it a little moister, add a little bit more milk or some of that maple nut soft serve on top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Or even some applesauce.
Yeah, nice.
If you like it chewy, eat it just as it is.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
It's great. Yummy.
Yummy.
Oh, let's look at our next recipe. It's going to be the Quinoa Breakfast Bowl. And the ingredients are 1 cup of quinoa, uncooked, 2 cups of water, 1/2 cup of dried apricots cut into small pieces, 1/2 cup of raisins, 1/2 cup of nuts chopped, 1/2 cup of pumpkin or other seeds, 2 cups of non-dairy milk, and stevia to taste. Quinoa breakfast bowls. Like, that's so great. Breakfast is so important, and it's quick and it's easy, and you can pre-prepare it, correct?
Absolutely.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Yes.
And you know, the nice thing about quinoa is not only is it good for breakfast, you could make a big batch of it and then use it under stir fry, almost any way that you would use rice, except the quinoa is higher in protein than rice, higher in fiber than rice. It's rich in minerals. So 1 cup of quinoa cooked has 8 grams of protein.
Wow.
And 5 grams of fiber, plus all the minerals. So it's just a really excellent product.
Yes, and if you don't want to use wheat as much, some people are gluten sensitive. If you don't want to use wheat, quinoa is a great alternative, isn't it?
It is gluten-free.
Yeah.
You are
yeah,
right.
So great.
One of the things that maybe turns people off from quinoa, they may have tried cooking it and didn't rinse it. There is a naturally occurring substance on the outside of the grain, is saponins, and it has a little bit of a bitter flavor. So if your package of quinoa does not say pre-rinsed on it, then you want to put it in a sieve, rinse it really well, stir it with a spoon while you're running it under the water until the water's coming out clear, and that removes the bitterness and greatly enhances the flavor of the quinoa.
What a great tip.
Okay.
Really, that's a great tip, because I have seen pre-rinsed before, and if it's not, it's bitter.
That is right. And so if someone's buying it in bulk, it's not going to be pre-rinsed. Or
Right.
just even some packaged brands are not rinsed yet.
Right.
Better safe than sorry. Rinse if you're not sure.
That-
Okay?
Good, good.
Okay. So it's a fast cooking grain.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and put this in our pot.
Sure.
Just, there we go.
Okay.
And then we're going to add our water to that. Now Yvonne, if you would just put it on the burner.
Sure.
And what we would want to do would be to cover it, put the burner on, bring it to a simmer, and then let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. We want to make sure that all the liquid is absorbed, and then we know it's done, much like cooking rice.
Okay.
Okay?
Same principle.
Same principle, only faster.
Is it, so you cover the quinoa with the water, just
Yes.
like you would rice?
Yes, and it's 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of water.
Okay.
But after it cooks, you end up with close to 4 cups of cooked product.
Oh.
If you could grab that bowl over there of the done quinoa, we'll just take a look at what the finished product is like. So we can see that it's very soft
Yes.
and fluffy.
Kind of like couscous.
kind of like couscous,
Right.
only whole grain, and much more nutritious than couscous. But again, stir fry, put your stir fry on here. But today we're going to eat it as a breakfast grain.
Love
so
it.
here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let you make up a little breakfast dish here.
Okay.
So you'd want to, if we were doing it according to the recipe, we would have about 1 cup of quinoa in the bowl.
Okay, so I'll just add a little bit more of that.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we're just going to round out another 1 dish meal.
Ah, love it.
Love it. Dried fruits. So we've got some raisins for iron.
I'll just use this spoon.
Sure. And then we have some dried apricots here.
Love it. Very high in vitamin C and beta carotene. Love it.
Flavor. Oh, there's
Love it. Yes, and flavor. Let's not forget flavor.
Flavor. And then any kind of nut would work. We do have walnuts here today. And then we have some sunflower seeds. These are just raw sunflower seeds. If someone prefers them toasted, you could just lightly toast them in a dry skillet and give them that little extra crunch, but we like to eat them raw.
Yes.
So, breakfast in a bowl.
Love it.
And then we'll just add some non-dairy milk to that. It's a very delicious meal, just like that. Now, the dried fruit makes it nice and sweet.
Right.
But if it's not sweet enough for some, we have some stevia here.
Love it.
Very concentrated. So we would just want to put a small pinch and then stir it in.
Stevia is so sweet.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's unbelievably sweet. I use the liquid stevia, and I love lemonade. So I'll take the dried lemon. You know, you can buy it in packets because we travel a lot.
Oh, yes.
So buy that and take the packets, and then just add liquid stevia drops and water, purified water, and I have lemonade. So stevia is wonderful. This stevia that we just used is the powdered. Either one is fine. At first, it might have a little aftertaste, you know, with stevia. You might have to get used to it, but the drops, I got used to right away, so.
And
it's
there's
worth
different
trying.
brands.
Yes.
So you could try.
That's true.
There is a different flavor on the different brands.
That is
so if you don't
very
like one,
true.
try another.
Yes, don't give up on your stevia.
That's right.
Yes.
And the dried fruits are really sweet. And the ancient Egyptian kings would actually have them put dried fruits in their tombs with them. They were such a valued product. And they have a great shelf life. And if you're traveling and you can't bring a lot of fresh fruit with you, dried fruit is a wonderful alternative.
Yes, high in iron, right?
High in iron, excellent stuff.
That's great, that's great.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at our next recipe. Garbanzo bean waffles. The ingredients are 2 to 2 3/4 cups water, 1 cup of regular rolled oats or buckwheat, 1 cup of soaked garbanzo beans or soybeans, 1/2 cup of coconut, optional, 2 tablespoons of sweetener, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, optional, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Garbanzo bean waffles. I'm trying to wrap my mind around beans and waffles. But I'm trusting you because so far your recipes have been yummy.
Okay.
So I'm trusting you. So tell us about the ingredients and then we'll talk some more.
Okay. Well, I did bring these waffles for my team. We'll tell you more about the team a little later.
Yeah.
To serve them at breakfast, and I asked them, guess what's in them? They thought they were regular waffles made with wheat flour and all that. So
okay.
something about turning them into a waffle just makes them, you can't tell.
Well, you know, it's great because it's a healthy dish. And again, we'll talk about the ingredients in a bit, but it's healthy and it's breakfast.
It's breakfast, that's the goal.
So what's in it?
So we have some garbanzos.
Okay.
These we just soaked overnight. Dried garbanzos, you buy in any grocery store. If you need to quick soak them, bring them to a simmer, take it off the stove, let them set for 1 hour. It's just the same as soaking them overnight. So we've got 1 cup of soaked garbanzos here. Then we have 1 cup of oats. Our unbleached sugar here. A little bit of salt. Coconut is optional in this recipe. We're going to leave it out.
Thank you, because I'm allergic to coconut flakes. So, and I want to taste it.
which means we're going to use less water. The recipe called for 2 to 2 3/4 cups. We're going to lean toward the 2, and we'll check it as we go.
Okay.
We're going to start with a little less than what we think we need.
Okay.
And then we will play with it.
And that's great. You can adjust it. Like some people like me are allergic to coconut, and so they don't have to have it in there. But
absolutely,
if you like coconut, it's probably a great addition.
Yes, add some flavor. Let's see.
So if it's too thick,
Good.
you add water, and if it's
Yes.
too thin, do you add more oats, or do you? If you can't do the coconut, what
You
can
could add.
do?
You could add a little more oats. I
Okay.
think the best thing to do would be to start with less water, and then just watch your blender.
Right.
When you make the waffles, if they come out a little heavy and dense, for your second one, add a little bit water, maybe
Nice.
a tablespoon or 2. Whiz it up again, and then do it.
Nice.
So after your first one, you kind of will get a feel for if that's right for that batter.
Right.
So we're just going to give it a quick spray.
Uh-huh.
This recipe does not work well in a Belgian waffle maker.
Oh.
This needs to be your traditional size waffle.
Okay.
Okay.
And you always start in the center.
Start in the
Right.
center. You don't want to go all the way to the end
Right.
because it will explode out of your waffle iron.
Wow.
Now,
Nice.
the beans in here actually act like a leavening. When they cook, they will they expand. Even though they're blended up like this, I try to avoid using baking powder and baking soda in my recipes because those destroy the B vitamins in our food.
Okay.
So these are actually a steam raised waffle.
Huh. So the steam is actually puffing it up?
Yes.
Nice.
If, you can see my steam here. It's going like this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, it's the same. And you can actually see, can you see how it's lifted the plates?
I
It has
can.
risen inside here. So you pour it, your plates come down flat in a very short time.
Yeah.
You're raised.
Okay.
It takes about 4 minutes. So I want to talk a little bit about these waffles. They freeze very well.
You know, that is a great feature because you can when you buy frozen waffles, they have all this junk in them.
You're
My
right.
rule of thumb is if you can't pronounce what's in your food, don't buy it.
That's right.
And so they have all these ingredients. This is so healthy. It has whole food ingredients in here. And then you can freeze them so you don't have to eat them all at once.
That's right.
You can have them for another day. That's a win-win too.
Yes.
I love that. See,
So
you're making the breakfast easy for us.
Got to be easy. And then to reheat them. So if you froze them, just plug your waffle iron in for maybe a minute, pull it out, just like your store-bought waffles. Just put it in here for maybe a minute, and they come out as crisp and nice as if you've just made them.
Huh.
You don't have to re-spray the waffle iron, which means you don't have to rewash your waffle
Right,
iron.
right.
So it's another fast way to do your breakfast.
Right.
You'd have it right there. And it's good to get the fiber we've been talking about in breakfast. Beans have that extra fiber. You also have that protein boost. And for people with diabetes or something like, it's a lifestyle disease, beans are actually a very nice addition to a breakfast. And this way they're hidden in your waffle.
Yes, because again, beans can slow down the digestion of glucose, the assimilation of glucose.
That's
and
right.
so that really helps the fiber. It's got fiber and protein, beans. So you're getting a twofer.
That's right, that's right.
And if you don't really taste garbanzo beans in your waffles, it's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like a win-win too.
Absolutely.
So that's great, that's great.
Now, I have tried making these with other beans and grains. My favorite way to make them, I'm just watching my light here.
Yeah.
My favorite way to make them is with soaked soybeans, and instead of oats, I use buckwheat groats.
Oh.
That's actually what I served my team. They had
Okay.
no idea that it was soy and buckwheats, and most people would say soy and buckwheat,
Yeah.
but it becomes indistinguishable.
Right. And you're not using genetically modified soy.
That's correct.
Because
That
that's
is
been
right.
a big thing recently. The discussion. Here's a plate too.
Let's pull that out.
Ooh. Ooh, see, that's a real mom right there who can touch a hot waffle.
Can you see, Yvonne, can you see all the air holes in these?
Yes.
They are light
I'm gonna
and
taste it.
crispy. Okay.
Yay.
We're going to make toppings for them in just a minute, but if you
I
want
wonder if I should wait. I'll wait for the top.
Okay, you're going to wait for the topping.
Yeah, I'll wait for the
All right, that's going to be our next recipe.
Oh, see? Perfect segue.
That's right.
Yes, let's look at our next recipe. Apricot sauce. And the ingredients are 1 1/4 cups of pineapple bits, 1/2 cup of dried apricots, 1 medjool date, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I love apricots.
Oh, good.
When I was little, well, actually all through, from when I was little till when I was grown, my grandmother used to make these puffs. We called them peach puffs, but it had apricots in them. I don't know why we call them peaches. But anyway, it was dried, and she would put vanilla and a sweetener in there and cook it, and then put it in dough and bake it. Oh, my word. So every time I see apricots, it conjures up those feelings from my grandmother who made the peach puffs.
I wonder if this filling that we're going to make here could actually be used in something like that. So you've got me thinking from my laboratory.
You know what?
Yes.
It's worth a try.
It is worth a try.
Yes.
We'll make apricot peach puffs.
Yay! Oh, that's great. That would be great.
Okay, so our apricot sauce is a wonderful topping for these waffles.
Okay.
Or just on toast. If somebody wanted to make sweet rolls, they could use a bread dough, roll it out in a big rectangular thin, and then spread some of this sauce on there, sprinkle some chopped walnuts or pecans in there, roll it up, and slice it up and make sweet rolls with this sauce. So it's a pretty versatile sauce.
Sounds good.
And you could always eat it with a spoon if you really
Right.
which I sometimes do. Okay, so we have our apricots here.
Right.
These
Now,
are-
those are just dried. They're not cooked or anything.
No,
Just dried apricots.
Just dried apricots, of course, without the pits. Okay. It's nice if you can get them unsulfured. It's a little hard to find them unsulfured, but if you can find them unsulfured, they're not going to have the same bright color, but it's actually a better product.
Right. Right.
So,
It's better for
all
you.
right. And then we're just going to add 1 date, and we have removed the pit from that.
Because dates are so sweet. Oh. They're so sweet and they're so good. And you don't need but so much.
That's right.
If you're trying to, if you're trying not to have it too sweet, 1 date should do it.
It should do it. And I was really surprised. We've been doing diabetes classes, and a comment was made that I checked up on that dates actually have a low glycemic index and a low glycemic load. So it's got to be because of the fiber and that slowing down of the absorption of the sugar.
Right.
So they are an excellent sweetener, superior to sugar, because of the fiber and the other nutrients that you're going to find just in the natural fruit.
Right, right. I would not have thought that it's low in the glycemic
Me
index.
either. I was very surprised to find that.
Nice.
That's good to know.
Good information.
Okay. Then we have a little bit of lemon juice, which gives a little more zip to those apricots, which already have a nice little zip
They
to them.
do.
They do. Especially the dried ones. And then we have the vanilla. Now this is clear vanilla.
Yeah, you know, I've been noticing that it was clear, and that's interesting because I haven't seen a clear vanilla before.
So you all thought I forgot my vanilla and was substituting
Actually,
water.
I have to say I did.
This is just
I'm glad
clear.
to know that this is real vanilla.
This
here.
is real vanilla.
Okay.
So we've got our clear vanilla.
Okay. I love vanilla too. It just enhances everything.
It does. It just takes a little too. And then we have our pineapple, and these are just pineapple tidbits. You could use pineapple chunks. Imagine you could even use fresh pineapple if you'd like.
And
Now-
these are unsweetened, right? So it's sweetened in their own juice?
Just in their own juice.
Good.
Now what we've done is we've drained the can because we don't want to use all this liquid. We want this to be a thick sauce, not runny. So we've reserved the pineapple juice on the side so that we can adjust it how we'd like to have it. So I'm going to put half of it back in so that we're able to blend. And then we can add more as we
needed.
think we'd like it. So again, a powerful blender comes in handy. If you do not have a powerful blender, just soak those dried fruits in the pineapple juice or with the pineapple for half an hour or so and let them soften up. I will say that buying quality kitchen tools makes spending time in the kitchen a whole lot nicer.
Yes.
And you know, we find money for the things that are really important to us. And I honestly would not enjoy cooking in my kitchen if I didn't have sharp knives, good blender,
Yes.
you know, quality cookware. And we don't have
Yes.
to have the most expensive, but we want to get the best quality we can afford.
I agree. It makes it, some of these things, like recently I got the, one of those instant.
Well, me too. I just got one.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's one of my favorite toys. Like, what did I do before I got it? It's a pressure cooker, it's a slow cooker, it's a sauteer, it does all of that. And I mean, I've been getting it for gifts and as gifts for
yes.
relatives and things. It's fab. It's great because it cuts down your kitchen time. You don't want to be in the kitchen forever. That's why these dishes are so great. You're making breakfast dishes that can be made and pre-prepared.
Yes.
This is great because nobody, well, except people who love to be in the kitchen.
That's true.
But if you're really busy, you don't have time to just stay in the kitchen all the time. So this is perfect. This is really perfect.
And we don't have time to be sick.
Yes.
So, I mean, we might say, well, you know, I don't have time to eat a healthy breakfast. I'm going to live on donuts and pastries and all those other things. But if you don't have time to be healthy now, you will take time to be recuperating later.
That's right. You're going to pay at one end or the other.
One end or the other.
You're going to pay.
And you know, sometimes people will say, well, the dried fruits or the fresh fruits or the nuts are expensive. You're just investing ahead of time so that you don't have to pay later. And if you can, you know, get a membership in one of these warehouse type buying places where you can buy your nuts in a 3 or 5 pound bag and your dried fruits and vegetables in a large frozen bag, the price is going to come down.
That's right.
And they will last a long time. A bag of apricots, dried apricots, we're using very small amounts. Will last you a long time.
Yes.
So you're stretching the expense out and you're saving your health.
That's right.
And money without health,
What good is it?
what good is it?
What good is it? This is great. This is great information and yummy.
And yummy.
And
That's
yummy.
the bottom
our
line.
word for today. Yummy.
Okay. So these have had a little chance to soak here. So let's
Okay.
see how we do. We're going to
Okay.
turn that down so we don't explode. There we go. Okay, I think we don't need any more liquid in there. That looks just right. And if we wanted it thicker, a little less juice.
Okay.
I'm going to pour it in here and then we'll let you have some on your waffle.
Great.
Let me pour it this way so
I'll just take a little edge. I won't take a lot.
Okay, we'll just do that for now.
Okay,
All right,
I'm gonna just
pre-cut it.
pre-cut.
I should have rewarmed your waffle for
Well,
you.
that's
Would have
all
been
right.
nice and crispy.
That's all right. I'm just gonna use my fingers since I'm the one eating it.
That's
Yeah.
it. All right, let me give you some.
Okay.
Let me give you some sauce to dip
Yeah.
that in.
Ooh.
Pass the test? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good.
You can't tell that it's made with beans.
No, you cannot. And those beans, like I said, give it the airiness. That's why all these air holes are in here, because the beans just steam up.
And I
make
love
that
the sauce.
rise. You like apricots.
I love apricots.
So it works.
This is so good, really. You definitely want to try this.
And then if you wanted more on there, again, some chopped nuts on there would also make it very nice. And then some fruit on the side, you'd have a really lovely meal.
It's so good. And you can freeze this. That's what, now, can you freeze the sauce or no?
I would think yes. I have never tried We Eat It, but there is absolutely no reason why that sauce could not be frozen.
Oh, that's
So you
great.
freeze it in smaller amounts and just take it out or put it in the microwave to defrost it real fast.
I love it.
Be good breakfast.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's go to our next recipe.
Okay.
Okay. It's going to be glorified applesauce topping, and the ingredients are 1.5 cups of unsweetened applesauce, 1/2 cup of blueberries, frozen or fresh, 1/4 cup of raisins, and 1/4 cup of reduced sugar dried cranberries. I love every ingredient in there.
Oh.
I do. I love that.
Well, this is a recipe that the 4-year-old can make.
Okay.
All right, so while
Yes.
mom's making waffles,
Yes.
the toddler or the young child can be making this for the waffle topping.
Love it.
All right, so we have some no sugar applesauce here.
Good. And it's already pretty naturally sweet, so you really don't have to add a sweetener.
That's right, but I'll tell you what, this dried fruit's gonna make it sweeter.
Oh, it's
That-
gonna be so good.
Absolutely.
I love that. Blueberries. I have blueberries almost every day.
Is that right?
Man, they're great for the brain.
Oh.
They're great for, they have something called proanthocyanidins in them that they're just anti-carcinogenic. They're just really, really good for you. So I have frozen blueberries with walnuts just about every day and love it.
You can use frozen blueberries in this recipe.
Oh, okay.
No problem. Just make it the night before, and in the morning, the blueberries, when they defrost in this, are almost like fresh. So you can go ahead and we had these beautiful fresh ones, but frozen is how I normally make them at home.
Good.
So you were talking about phytochemicals, weren't you?
Oh, yes. There are all kinds of phytonutrients in fruits and vegetables. And if we increase our fruits and vegetables, that's just one basic thing you can do to get healthier.
Yes.
It makes such a huge difference, like the blueberries.
Like the blueberries.
Yes.
You know, I have a note here. The World Health Organization says that 2.7 million lives could be saved if people increase their fruits and vegetables.
Wow.
So now we're going to add
believe
some
that.
raisins.
Yes.
Again, sweet.
Okay.
And then we have reduced sugar dried cranberries.
And that's important because the less processed sugar you eat, the better.
colorful.
Sure is.
Let this set overnight to
Okay.
soften up those fruits on your waffle.
Oh, hey, you know what? We should try it on my waffle.
Colorful, and different fruits and dried fruits could all be added in here.
Yes, let's try it.
All right.
Then we're gonna let people know.
Now that hasn't had a chance to soak, so it's going to be a little bit chewy.
That's okay, let's try it.
All right. The dark fruits like that are especially rich in phytochemicals. So the blueberries and the dried cranberries, very, very good.
It's got the sweet tart thing going on.
Wow, the cranberries.
Right?
Yes. This has only 43 calories in 1/4 cup. If you have 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup on your waffle, you have 300 calories. So adding a fruit topping really saves you a lot of calories, as well as increased fiber, more minerals and vitamins.
That is so, so good. You're gonna have to make this at home. Now, how often do you make this for your family?
Oh, we eat waffles.
Do you?
Yes, regularly. Most of this food are staple foods in our home. As much as I love to cook, I still like to keep it simple. It's got to be fast and easy. I don't want to be slaving in the kitchen. I want to cook and eat. Yes.
The challenge is to not talk while I'm eating. That's a challenge.
That's
okay.
a challenge. Okay.
What we want to do is let people know how to reach you,
Okay.
because you're going to want these recipes. You're going to want to get in touch with Lesie. So this is how you reach her.
If you are interested in inviting Lesie Caza to your church for a cooking seminar, or to help your community to attain a healthier lifestyle, you can contact her at 4204 Jackson Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee 38128. That's 4204 Jackson Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee 38128. You can call her at 731-798-1106. That's 731-798-1106. Or you can email her at leslie.caza@gmail.com.
look at all these beautiful meals. Tell us what you made today.
All right, we have a French toast casserole with the pineapple topping, our maple nut soft serve. Then we have our baked breakfast grains with the quinoa and the steel-cut oats. We have a quinoa breakfast bowl with the fruit and the nuts, our waffles, apricot sauce, and glorified applesauce.
Wonderful. This is so good. You have to try these. And in fact, you have a cookbook.
I do.
Tell us about the cookbook.
The cookbook has about 160 recipes in it. 130 of them are gluten-free for those who need that. And we didn't plan it that way. That's just the way it worked out. So they're yummy, and many of them are gluten-free, and there's a big variety from breakfast to desserts.
Oh, that's so good. If you're transitioning and you want to know how to cook some really good vegan meals, get her cookbook and just practice. Make it make your kitchen your laboratory.
There we go.
Tell us about, you had a wonderful team that assisted you. Tell us a little bit about them as well.
Two precious sisters in the Lord,
Yes.
Angela Hyde and Liseth Jones, have joined me. Liseth was here last time I was here. They know how to cook, they know how to decorate, just supportive, prayerful, great prayer team.
Yes, amen. What's your next move? Tell us your next step with Simply Vegan in like 10 seconds.
We just hope to enlarge it as far as getting people in from the community, which is why we're expanding. We're expanding in our library outreach and things like that to try to just get the public aware.
That's great, that's great. Awareness is key. Test these recipes, try them on your families. They will love them. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next time on 3ABN Today Cooking.